Kia ora everyone, back in the green today, but I'm still not trading with confidence. I took one trade today on OSRH and it was a green trade, but it was a small $30 win. It wasn't the cleanest setup either, but I stuck to my plan and I managed my risk well. You know, I hesitated on some massive moves today with BLNE and OSRH both running well. I just couldn't push the buy button. My confidence just isn't where it should be, and it's showing in my hesitation to get into these trades. So in this recap, I'll break down what I did right, where I hesitated, and my plan to keep rebuilding my confidence. Yeah, let's get into it. So the first stock I looked at today was SURG. SURG was the leading gapper this morning, and I saw it around here, coming into around 7:15. It was around this area, trading around $2.60. I looked at it, it was pretty thickly traded. I didn't really like the look of SURG. It was above the VWAP, so it was kind of bullish, but it was just struggling through this area. And if I pull the chart across, it failed, pulled back to the VWAP and then dropped below the VWAP and sort of traded below the VWAP for the rest of the morning. So I didn't take any trades on that or even look at taking a trade on SURG really. And it wasn't long before the next stock sort of popped up, and that was BLNE. So if I bring up BLNE, so this here popped up before 7 o'clock as well, and I saw it when it had pushed up through 3:30, yeah. So it had just broken this level here at $2.40 and it pushed up to about 270 and was pulling back. And that's where I first saw this trade here, the stock. So at that point there, it had just broken through its previous pivot point and was pulling back. I saw it had news, so it had a catalyst. It met all my criteria, so that was a good opportunity to take a trade on this here. I could have waited for a little bit to prove itself a bit more, and if I bring up the video, actually, I've got it here queued up. So, it pulled back here to $2.40, around that area again. That could have been an entry. And a push back up to 275. I'm just going to make this a bit faster. So even getting in around the $0.50, here I decided to take a paper trade. So I I usually just draw squares on the chart to show my trades, sort of where I want to enter, and then the top of the square box is sort of where I want to take my exit. And then because the box has got width, then I can say, well, I got in here on the left-hand side and I got out here on the right. So I sort of took a paper trade on this around the $0.50 mark, and it did push up, and I thought it would go to $3 at least. That was sort of where I planned to take profit, but as it sort of pushed up, it looked like it had some more strength in it, so I didn't really want to take it there. I thought I'll leave it and see how far it goes, and I think I did end up taking it around to 323 or something like that. Yeah, so this stock was doing well. It was strong, and it pushed up over $3 pretty quickly from over that $0.50 mark. And this was before 7 o'clock, so before 7 a.m. in the morning. So, the majority of retail traders who come on at 7 o'clock weren't even trading yet. So, you know, it was quite strong. Okay, better have a look at that. But I just didn't have the, I had kept hesitating to get in. This stock was probably, I thought, nah, it's a bit early. I'll leave this trade alone. I'm not sure really how far it's going to go, but it just kept going. Even my paper trade, I got out of that at 323, didn't get back in, and you know, that was a good trade, but the stock's still going. And then I realised, well, it might hit 4 and go over 4, and it did. You know, it pushed up to 4 in 6 candles, so in about 6 minutes. It was up to 440, I think it came up to a high of, so yeah, so there it goes, pushed up to 443, and I think that was the high that it made, and then it pulled back. Yeah. So that was BLNE. It did pull back a bit more, and I think it came up to retest. No, it didn't retest. It came up and it tried to go again, but only made it to about 425, I think, and then pulled back, and then it pulled below the VWAP, and that was the end of it. 430. Yeah, there we go. And now it's pulling back. So I didn't trade BLNE. I watched pretty much the whole move unfold in front of me, but I just couldn't pull the trigger. I took a paper trade on it, which is kind of funny. But yeah, just didn't have the confidence to get in on this front side of this move. And now it's too late. It's, you know, it's pulling back too much. It's pretty much finished. And even though I thought about taking the bounce off the VWAP here, I was just like, no, MACD's closed now. You know, part of my plan is I don't take trades once that front side of that move's finished. And the crossover of the MACD basically is the indicator for that. So that was BLNE. The next stock that popped up, if I scrub forward a bit in the video here, yeah, you can see it's come back up to retest, and it's sort of making a cup and handle, but it just fails. See there, it just drops. And I think that was it for BLNE, pretty sure. After that, yeah, came back up, tried to push back through, but couldn't break 420, looks like, and then it just flushed down through the VWAP, and then it just sold off for the rest of the morning. And into the open, it didn't really either, it just kept selling off. So that was the end of BLNE. It did have some news. The news on it was that the CE had reinvested, I think, 900,000 back into the stock, which proved to be a pretty good catalyst initially, but it just didn't hold. The stock didn't hold up over the day. So the next one that I saw pop up was OSRH. And if I go back to pre-market, so this ran 170%, and it was up 170% from about $1.80 up to $4.58. And I pretty much saw this from $1.80. I think it was $1.80. No, $2.70, that's right. So I saw it pulling back in this area here when it had made a high of 274 and pulled back and then pushed again. So I'll bring up video on that. Yeah, so this is it here. Yep. So this here, and it showed some strength pushing through 274, and then it pulled back, and then it started pushing again, So there was an opportunity to get in around 274, but I didn't take that. And then the next opportunity was, that micro pullback around $2.80. Around here was an opportunity to get in as well. It's on the 10-second chart, you can see there's a micro pullback here. And that was an entry in for the break of $3. And I had a order queued up. If you look at my panel over here, I had, actually I'll just rewind it a bit. Just back a bit more. Yep. So here I've actually got a order queued up here, and I'm ready to push the buy button, but I was too late. I didn't push the buy button when the price action was actually at 280, 281, 287. I hesitated, didn't get in, and then I entered an order once the price action had moved well past that level. And that was just, me not being able to execute. And again, when it comes back down to around 320, drops below 320, 318, 317, I again placed an order queued up here for 321, and my cursor's ready to go over the buy button, and I'm just not pushing the buy button. I'm just not executing the order to get in, and now it's too late. The stock's already pushed up, broken through that previous high of the previous green candle, and is pushed up too high for me to get in. So that was the story for today. Was on those front side of those moves, I was really hesitating to get into the trades, even though they were really bullish and showing a lot of strength, and they put in the moves. OSRH has had, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green candles in a row, and is, I think it even goes higher than this. So I think it made a high of, what was it, 450? Yeah, so it still hasn't put in a red candle yet. $434. I'm sure it goes to over 450. Yeah, 450. There it is. And I'm thinking about getting in there at 411, but really, it's too late. It's already gone over $2 a share without putting in a red candle. Now it's had a decent pullback off of 450, and I'm thinking about getting in, but it's too late. It's the backside of the move is starting to come in, and it's putting in a decent pullback, pulling back to the VWAP. There's a good opportunity to get a bounce trade off the VWAP possibly here at 360, but I didn't take that either. And although I did put an order in, I thought about it. But just not executing well because I'm hesitating on putting the order in. I'm not actually placing an order confidently to get in. I'm thinking about it and then going, no, I'm not going to do it. So that was OSRH. So it actually did come right to the VWAP and then pull away. Sort of struggled there, retested the VWAP, and then pushed up to retest the previous day high. So there was possibly a trade in here as it held support on the VWAP to hold the VWAP for a pushback to retest the high, and it broke through that high to 458. Or there might have been an entry here as it broke over this pivot point here, but yeah, didn't take any of those trades. So I did take a trade on OSRH, and I'll just move forward to that. I looked at taking a low on BLNE, but decided against it. It's just too risky. So this is my trade on OSRH. It had held this level around 345 and bought up here, and I thought about getting in on the VWAP here, but I cancelled this order because I thought, no, I'll just see what it does. I mean, it could have broken higher there. It didn't. It pulled back. I'll just speed this up a bit. It did push up to 4, that's right. So this is where I look at getting in. So it's coming down to the support level here at previous support 360, 365. And I thought, well, I'll get in around that entrance there. It's had a decent pullback, and hopefully then it will push back and break through that level of 4. That was my plan anyway. So actually, is this? I'm just going to speed this up a bit. It's still going, still going, still going. Actually, it's not here. That's right. Because SRX popped up for a bit and then failed. It's here where I take. Let's just scrub forward. Right, this is where I get in. Okay. So it's coming down to this level here around 360. I decide to get in around, as it's pulling back, 365. There's a big sell order there at 365, which is getting reduced, but it's dropped down to 362 and 360, 363, and as it shows some green, I hit the buy button and I'm in. And this is good because it's resolving, it's pushing up. The only problem is that it's slightly struggling. Actually, if I just bring this down a bit. Yeah, that's better. So you can see it's slightly struggling. It hasn't pushed back through VWAP. It's pulling back, and I'm thinking, oh, it might fail. So it hasn't reached my stop or gone really below my stop here at 3. I was sort of down here at 350. 556, somewhere in there was my stop. It keeps pushing up, so it didn't resolve as quickly as I thought it would. I thought it would push back up with some strength and I would be out by now. But then it pops up through VWAP and hits 390. I was looking for a pushback to 4 at least. That's where sort of my target was to take profit. But it had a bit of a rejection of 390. So I put a order in at 388, and I thought, well, if it pops back up there, I'll just take it off the table. It didn't though. It didn't reach 388. It pulled back pretty much to my entry and slightly below. So yeah, it's sort of pulling back here, and I'm thinking, oh, it's just consolidating over VWAP, and it's just going to bounce between you know, around 380, 390 and, you know, 360, 350. So I thought it's probably just going to bounce between and consolidate for a while. So I thought, well, when it pushes back up over VWAP, I'll just take my exit, whatever it sort of reaches. So that's pretty much what I did, although it's getting pretty close to my stop here at this level. But it does push up and then breaks that candle there, that first green candle again, and through the VWAP, and now I'm into profit. And I thought, oh, it's not really showing a lot of strength here. It's getting a topping tail here, so it's a lot of selling pressure at the VWAP, and it's really struggling. So I'm really considering cutting this short, this trade. But then it breaks the VWAP, and I was like, oh, that's it, I'm out. And so out I go, and then it flushed down 40 cents. But you know, there's support down here because it's been brought back up, and it had a bottoming tail, and then it showed strength pushing straight back up to the VWAP. I'm obviously annoyed that I got out of that trade a bit too soon and went to have a look at BLNE. So we'll scrub through this because that's, yeah. And you can see here when I came back, it's actually pushed all the way back up through VWAP, gone through where I got out, broken that level around 390, and now I'm really annoyed. Now we come back here again, came back down, retested the VWAP, and then started pushing up. Broke through 4, and this candle here breaks right through up to 415, and then it basically pushes back to retest, actually make a new high at the end of this push. So, you know, I mistimed my entry really. I should have been more patient and waited for that flush. A lot of the times you'll see a flush and then it'll buy back up, and then you wait for confirmation that it's going to keep going, and then you get in the entry. And the entry sort of here, where it's showing sort of a bit more strength, is probably the break of that candle there, the body, or even at VWAP here when it breaks back through VWAP. The other more passive entry is when it breaks VWAP, comes back down and retests VWAP. Here is another good entry. And then you get that nice break. But I'd already done my one trade for the day, so I was a bit, well, I didn't want to break my rule. I've broken too many rules lately, and paid the price for that. So I stuck with my profit for today. I made my one trade, and excuse me, I took my $30 profit. I did watch a bit more of the trading session, but I was pretty tired. Also, you know, having big losses, not just you know, knocks your confidence, but also, you know, your stress levels and stuff like that, you know, can sometimes make you a bit more, you know, thinking about things more, and you end up, you know, being a bit more tired than usual, and it taking it a bit out of me yesterday. Yeah, so it did put in a good move, OSRH, and I thought it was quite a lot cleaner than BLNE on the front side. and definitely not as thickly traded as the other stock that was up, SURG. So it was a good stock to trade, and I wished I'd been able to trade it better, have the confidence to jump on that front side, because that would have been where I could have actually got more profit out of the stock. But anyway, that's how it went down in the end. So if I come back to here, it's my chart. So yeah, only one trade, OSRH, $30 profit. So coming back to the week, the problem with the loss on Tuesday is that this will be a red week, but it also makes it a red month. And even though I've got 3 more trading sessions to put a dent in that loss, I think it'll be a bit of a hard task to bring that loss up to the profit line, to a green month. Especially it won't be a green week. I'd have to do some pretty amazing trades to make it a green week. But I'm not too worried about that. I'm just worried about, taking one trade at a time, and probably taking one trade each day to just build my confidence back up, and start building my account back up. Today was a small step in the right direction. Green is green. I still have a lot of work to do on my confidence. Missing those big trades today really stung, but I just need to keep showing up and taking good setups. Have you ever hesitated in taking a trade, pushing the buy button? Let me know in the comments. How did you push through it? Anyway, I'll be back again tomorrow with another recap. So make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you then. Hei a popo.